another fight, Kell Brook, Triple G.
Yeah.
First of all, just what initial reaction to how the fight played out and everything that happened?
Well, it played out the way I expected it to, but Cal's a decent fighter, man. Like, definitely he's not a middleweight. I think he'd be more successful at 54. But Triple G showed signs of weakness in that fight. He showed that if you fight him in the inside, you can get the advantage on him. He showed he showed a lack of defense in that fight. I think the fact that he fought a smaller man, he fought he kind of had like a relentless approach where, oh, this little guy can't hurt me, so he just was walking through him. But he showed signs of weakness where, like, if he fought a bigger, stronger guy, he could have some issues. Obviously we see now why he avoided Ward, right? Because can you imagine what Ward would do to, how that fight would have played out?
Do you think they deliberately avoided that?
Of course. But listen, it's smart though, right? Like, and you can't be mad at him about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's the unified champion. He wants to fight what's his name? Billy Joe to unify all the titles. So it's a game plan. His team is making wise decisions for him. I think it would have been a dumb move. He'd have been respected for it, but it'd have been a dumb move business-wise if he would have went up to fight Ward.
What's funny is we talked to Roy Jones last night, and he was just saying that, guys aren't eager to get in the ring with Triple G. So I asked him, well, what does he have to do? And Roy said basically it has to do what Kell Brook did. You got to go look for the war. You got to go look for the fight. And he even said he should go as far as fighting Kovalev at 175. Do you think that's asking too much of Triple G, or does he have to move up to at least 168?
No, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's good fights at 68. Like I said, Ward would have been a great challenge. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? He showed vulnerability in his fight with Brook, where I think guys are fighting Triple G and they got like that Mike Tyson mentality where they're like just like thinking too much about his power, and they're moving and they're moving and they're moving. And actually, when you're moving, and I made that mistake when I fought him too, the movement benefits him because he needs range. If you see what happens when you actually sit with him in the pocket, you actually have the advantage on him, because then you take away his jab and you take away his range from punching, right? And when Brook did it in spurts, he was very successful. When Murray did it in spurts, he was successful. When I did it in spurts, I was successful. So when you get in the inside with him and you smother his power, take away his jab, he shows vulnerability, right? But the thing is, guys, the number one thing is, like, if you're fighting a puncher, stick and move. But really, sometimes you're better off smothering the guy. Kind of like if you look at Holyfield and Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was the big knockout puncher, right? But if you look at how Holyfield approached that fight, he didn't box Tyson. He kind of like smothered him. He threw shots in the inside, then he tied him up. He threw shots in the inside, then he tied him up. Where Tyson was getting frustrated to the point where, like, in the rematch, we know what happened, right? So my thing is that's the style. Sometimes the dude that power puncher, you have to actually be in the inside with him, and that's the best way, to win the fight.
Last thing on Triple G, people asking him to move to fight Kovalev, they're asking for too much, Gabe. Is that just being unrealistic?
Kovalev, because Kovalev, that's light heavy. I don't like the idea of a fighter having to move 2 weight classes up. Now, moving 1 weight class up, all right. That's like, I'm 160. Like, I'm not moving up this to light heavyweight. That's ridiculous. That's a weight that I would probably eventually move up to, but it would be like gradually. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, maybe if I get too big for the middleweight division, then I obviously have to move up to super middleweight. And then, as you get older, your body kind of like, you get bigger, so it's tougher to drop weight. So, You know, but to ask him to go to to light heavyweight, that's asking a lot.